Now let's dive deeper into the economy. Every Thursday, we delve deeper into the economy, and today we have our economic correspondent Kim Yoen-seung here in the studio for discussions on what's happening and reopening means for the world economy. Good to see you, Yeon-seung.
Thank you for having me, Jungmin.
So what's new for the economy?
Well, the global economy has been down on its luck lately. Countries have been seeing steep inflation all around. And just yesterday, the World Bank released a pretty grim economic outlook, a slashed growth forecast of 1.7% for the year 2023, a number that's teetering on the brink of a recession. But there are new grounds for hope. Economic giant China is finally reawakening after lifting its draconian zero COVID rules after more than 1,000 days. And British news magazine The Economist says that China's reopening will be the biggest economic event for 2023.
All right, Yeon-seung. So what does that mean? I can assume that China's reopening could affect the world economy, the global economy across the board, but just how big of an impact?
Well, analysts are hoping that this move will buoy up the sinking global economy. And China itself seems poised to spring back into its high growth rates, with The Economist magazine once again estimating that China could account for 2/3 of global growth for the first quarter of next year. But it has been less than a week since China's borders have reopened. And with China's local COVID cases surging, many countries, including Korea, have been restricting entry of arrivals from China. So it is too early to make an accurate projection. I've been talking to several experts to gain more insight on this issue, and they too seem to have differing opinions about what's going to happen. So I wanted to share a short recap of my coverage. For 1,016 days, China's borders had been clamped shut in an effort to ward off COVID-19. But last Sunday, they finally reopened, bringing newfound optimism for the economy.
The opening up and the reopening of the Chinese economy is a strong positive lever for 2023.
China's lockdowns have shrunk consumption, but now that they're lifted, consumption will bounce back, which is good news for semiconductor suppliers because demand for electronics will rise.
This is Myeongdong, an area that used to be popular among Chinese tourists. Since the start of the pandemic, this once bustling district had for a while become almost a ghost town. But with overseas tourism returning, so has foot traffic here. And with Chinese borders reopening, this area holds the potential of once again returning to its heyday. With China only just reopening and with South Korea restricting arrivals from China due to concerns about COVID-19, the full buying power of Chinese tourists has not yet reached Korea's tourism sector. But locals wait, hopefully, for when it does.
It was really tough. For almost 3 years, I had to work in delivery and construction because I couldn't sell. I only came back in recent months to sell, and my wife and I are hopeful that this area will fully bounce back when Chinese tourists once again visit.
Already, businesses that had left Myeongdong are returning. The vacancy rate for local stores had climbed during South Korea's lockdowns, but it's starting to tick down in recent days, and industry experts expect it to go down even further once the Chinese tourists can travel without COVID restrictions. But not everyone shares an optimistic outlook. Some are concerned that China's reopening could push up commodity prices even further.
As China eliminates its zero COVID policy, their production will increase, and that will help reduce inflation. But there's a contrary point of view. In the short run, it may even increase inflation because China's demand for oil and commodities may rise before their production rises significantly.
Goldman Sachs has projected that oil prices would climb by about $15 per barrel as China regains its appetite for oil imports. Some experts also say that it may be difficult for China to regain foreign investors' trust.
I think if China opens up, I think it's a good chance for the corporations operating in China to decide to go out rather than go in.
China's lockdown was a never-before-seen experiment, so experts vary in their projections on how this new reopening will swing the global economy. But there's one view they all share. China's reopening is likely to make a big splash.
All right, Yeon-seung, thanks for the great report.
Thank you.